In Desire to Learn, Dropboxes are an efficient way to publish assignment instructions for your students and collect their assignment submissions. You can also provide them a grade and additional feedback on assignments through your Dropbox. I have in this course a Dropbox for a simple writing assignment that is linked to a gradebook entry. So when students submit their written responses to this Dropbox, I can grade and comment on their work with all of the above kept on record within Desire to Learn, where my students can easily find it. In this demonstration, my students are simulated by accounts that I created for testing and tutorial purposes. Their assignment submissions are really just sample documents that enable me to show what options and features Desire to Learn offers instructors. There are several ways I can see what students have submitted to my Dropbox. Under the Content tab, I can get a quick overview of student submissions to date. I enter the Dropbox as a topic and then scroll to the bottom. The Completion Summary section is closed, but I expand it by clicking on the arrow to the right. I get a list of students, whether they've submitted anything, when they did so, and any grade I might have already applied. By default, I get a complete list of students, but I can filter them based on whether or not a student has submitted anything to the Dropbox. If I click on a student's name, D2L goes directly to the Evaluate Submissions screen, where I can read and grade their submission. I can also access student submissions via the Dropbox tool directly. This gives me more options for viewing and sorting student submissions. Here, within the Dropbox tool, if I click the title of any Dropbox, it takes me inside to where student submissions are listed. I have various options as to how I want to organize or filter the list of students. If I had a big list of students in a large class or section, the search box could be helpful for finding individual students by their name. I can limit the list of students, for example, to who has or has not submitted assignments. This student, for example, has not yet submitted anything to this Dropbox. Incidentally, I could email this student and any others who've not supplied any submissions by going to the top of the screen and clicking Email Users Without Submissions. I could also, for example, have Desire to Learn hone in on late submissions. This student has submitted to this Dropbox a little late, and Desire to Learn notes that specifically. I can also limit the view to show me any students for whom I've already submitted a grade or feedback. And that's indicated here on the right. It shows that I've published feedback on this date and time. Published means that the grade that I've submitted and any feedback I've written is visible to students. So it's essentially a matter of record. Anytime I run any sort of filter, I first select the parameters by which I want Desire to Learn to filter the list, and then I click this magnifier button next to the search bar. At any time, to see any student submission, I refer to the space below their name. Here I see a file and any message they added when they submitted that file. If I click on the file name, it takes me to the Evaluate Submission page, where I can read, grade, and comment on their submission. The Evaluate Submission page is where I grade student assignments within the Dropbox. On most of the screen to the left, Desire to Learn will open files of common formats so you can read the student submission directly within D2L rather than having to download it and open it. This happens to be a docx file, but Desire to Learn will also open PDF files to be read. When you arrive at the evaluation submission screen, it may or may not already be open. If it isn't, just click the file name. You can download the file too by clicking on the Download button. This is useful if, for example, you'd like to provide commentary or editorial instructions to students via Microsoft Word's markup tools. On the right, you see the student name and some quick links to email or page the student and to view more information about the particular student. Below that, you can view the Dropbox assignment instructions and properties. You can also hide these if you'd like them out of the way. Below that is the evaluation area. If you have a rubric associated with the Dropbox, you can use it here. Otherwise, you can enter the student's numerical score in the space provided. Plus, you can supply text feedback to the student that they can view when they access their grade. When you click on the feedback box, it opens up a standard HTML editor common in Desire to Learn. You also have the option of uploading a file so that your students can retrieve it. This enables you to put feedback or edits directly into a student's submitted file and return it to them. At the bottom of the screen, you have the option of publishing the student's score and feedback if you are certain that is what you want the student to see. If not, and you'd like to come back to further consider the student's submission, you can click Save Draft. This way, students do not yet see what grades or feedback you may have entered. You can quickly scroll between students by clicking either the Previous Student button in the upper left-hand corner of the screen or the Next Student button on the right-hand side, either at the top of the screen or at the bottom of the screen, located conveniently next to the Publish and Save Draft buttons. Or you can return to the list of student submissions within the Dropbox by clicking the Back to Folder Submissions button. After you grade a student Dropbox submission, what do they see? When they arrive in Desire to Learn, they will see a notification telling them that a grade has been posted. If they go to your course and into the Dropbox itself via the Content or Dropbox tools, they can see their numeric grade as well as text feedback that you provided as well. Lastly, if your Dropbox is associated with a gradebook entry, they will see their grade entered there too.